Narcissists aren't just arrogant or self-obsessed individuals. They are emotional parasites. They study you carefully, learn what makes you feel special, what breaks you, what you long for, and then slowly begin feeding off your emotional energy. And the most disturbing part? You won't even notice. You'll mistake this manipulation for intimacy. You'll confuse their dominance for love. You'll label your discomfort as your own weakness. That's how they operate, invisibly, methodically, and without remorse. Narcissists are masters of psychological camouflage. In the beginning stages of the relationship, whether romantic, familial, or professional, they build you up, mirror your dreams, your passions, your values. This is called love bombing. It's designed to create dependency, to hook you emotionally. So when they start withdrawing affection, criticizing you subtly, or making you feel guilty for things you didn't even do, you're already too emotionally invested to leave. Your mind clings to the person they were at the start, and you keep waiting for them to come back. But that person never existed. It was a crafted illusion. And because you've now started doubting yourself, not them, you begin to believe the problem is you, your sensitivity, your overthinking, your reactions. They are not breaking you down with violence. They're eroding you with doubt. And that's why it's so hard to wake up. Over time, your sense of self begins to erode. Not all at once, but slowly, piece by piece. You start questioning your decisions, your memories, your worth. You stop expressing your needs, because every time you did, it turned into a conflict, or you were made to feel selfish. You become addicted to pleasing them, chasing crumbs of affection, hoping your efforts will fix the relationship. But the truth is, narcissists don't want a relationship. They want control. And they get it by making you feel smaller, confused, and emotionally exhausted. You stop trusting your gut, your voice fades, and your identity dissolves into theirs. You're no longer living for yourself. You're surviving around them. This is not love. It's psychological slavery. By the time you realize something is wrong, you're already entangled in their web. Your emotions, your thoughts, even your nervous system, all are now conditioned to respond to them. You may even fear their anger more than your own pain. You rationalize their behavior, make excuses for their cruelty, blame yourself for the dysfunction. They've programmed you to believe you can't survive without them, that your value depends on their validation. And because the abuse is often emotional and covert, others may not even see it. You feel isolated, trapped, ashamed, and worst of all, you start losing hope. Narcissists thrive in this moment, the moment when your will to resist has been replaced by a learned helplessness that feels like love. Gaslighting, blame shifting, triangulation, these are the weapons narcissists use daily, yet subtly. Gaslighting makes you question your reality. Blame shifting makes you carry guilt for problems they caused. Triangulation pits you against others to make you doubt your worth. Over time, these tactics distort your inner compass. You no longer know what's real or what's right. You might even start defending them to your friends or hiding their behavior out of fear or shame. The abuser becomes your protector. It's a cruel paradox, and that's what makes narcissistic abuse one of the most dangerous forms of psychological violence. It doesn't leave visible scars. It leaves silent wounds that bleed internally for years. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're traumatized. The reason you're not fighting back isn't because you're incapable. It's because your nervous system is in survival mode. You're in constant fight, flight, or freeze, stuck in an emotional battlefield where your mind tells you to run, but your heart won't let go. Trauma bonds form in toxic relationships like these. The more pain you experience, the more you're chemically addicted to the cycle of hope and despair. And narcissists exploit this bond mercilessly. They give just enough kindness to keep you hopeful, and just enough cruelty to keep you in fear. It's not love that keeps you there, it's trauma that hasn't been healed. If you don't break free, the cost is more than just emotional. Over time, you'll begin to experience anxiety, depression, insomnia, digestive issues, brain fog, and a deep emptiness that no amount of external success can fill. You'll lose trust in people, isolate yourself, and begin to live in survival mode. Your ability to feel joy, passion, and peace will shrink. Your self-worth will be replaced by self-doubt. And perhaps the saddest part, you might forget who you were before they came into your life. Narcissists don't just damage your present, they infect your future by breaking your spirit. And unless you wake up, their voice will live in your head long after they've left your life. But here's the raw, unfiltered, and inconvenient truth. You can get out. You can heal. But it will never begin unless you first stop lying to yourself. It begins not with a plan, or a perfect moment, or someone else's permission, but with brutal, piercing honesty about what is really happening to you. You have to rip away the illusion you've been clinging to, the hope that maybe tomorrow they'll be different, the fantasy that this time the apology is sincere, the belief that you just need to be more understanding, more patient, more forgiving. Those are the very lies that bind you to your suffering. Waiting for a narcissist to change is like waiting for a snake to grow fur. It won't happen, not because it doesn't know how, but because it was never meant to. They aren't broken. They are functioning exactly as they were designed to, feeding off your empathy, your guilt, your hope, and your fear. You have to stop handing them the weapon and then wondering why you keep bleeding. Every time you ignore your gut, every time you forgive what was never truly acknowledged, every time you stay silent just to keep the peace, you're not avoiding conflict. You're making war against yourself. The narcissist doesn't need to hit you, scream at you, or even insult you loudly. All they need to do is keep you questioning your worth. That's the trap. And the moment you start to wake up, really wake up, it won't feel empowering at first. It'll feel devastating. Because now you're not just losing a person, you're losing the entire illusion that kept you emotionally sedated for months, maybe years. That illusion was your coping mechanism, your drug, your prison. Breaking free will feel like breaking apart. Healing, when it finally begins, won't feel like warm sunlight. It will feel like surgery without anesthesia. It will feel like tearing off your own skin, like watching the version of yourself who was loyal to the wrong people die slowly and painfully. You'll cry, not just because of the abuse you endured, but because of how much of your own soul you gave away without a fight.